Well, Leigh, thanks for joining us. First of all, you've just secured two excellent results, of course. Back-to-back wins. Got you right back on track.
Yeah, two really important wins. Say the belief has always been there from the players and the staff. Teams go through what we went through, the injuries, illnesses didn't help, and you can see when we get one or two players back what we're capable of. But two really good results, but they're gone now. We can't rest on them. It's so important that we look to kick on.
There's no doubt about it. One thing that's come out of these positive results is that you certainly know how to defend a lead. I think you got your goal against Bradford after just 12 minutes, and after 90 seconds you got your goal against Mansfield. And along the way you kept two clean sheets. That must give the players even extra confidence.
Yeah, and you go over obviously with the football and stuff, but the players should be really pleased and be proud of how they defended their box. Within them two games, I think there was probably two clear-cut opportunities for the opposition to score against us, and they defended the box, brilliantly, to a man, from the front players all the way back to the goalkeeper. It's something we spoke about over the last couple of weeks, just brilliant basics, defending your box, leaving your slot if you need to put pressure on the football. But credit to the players, clean sheets is something we've not been brilliant at this season. But the last two results, just off the back of what went over Christmas, really pleasing. So we've got to push that forward. It wasn't always just clinging on though, was it? 1-0, during them two games, we perhaps, with our standards, should have scored a couple more goals.
Well, you're returning back home now on Saturday after the result at Mansfield as well, and it's important that you keep building on what you've achieved. I know you made a point that that's gone by the by now, the last week's game, but if you can keep building on wins after wins.
Yeah, and that's what you've got to do, isn't it? You've got to be consistent in this league to achieve anything. You've got to respect the opposition. Swindon are a good team, got good players, good manager, so you've got to be respectful of them. We can't, just because we've got two good results against two teams, particularly one was doing well on a run and one hasn't lost at home since April. It's important that the detail, the information's taken in, and they go into the game with that hunger to pick up another 3 points. We're at home. We want to make it a hard place for people to come, which we have done over the last 12 months, a real difficult place, and we've got to maintain that, but we've got to maintain our standards. We've got to keep them as high as possible if we want to go on and achieve anything.
You mentioned what you're expecting from Swindon. Are you surprised that they're finding themselves not right in the mix yet of being in the playoffs or the automatic promotion places? And the one thing that I've picked up on is they do concede goals.
In terms of where they are, if you look at the league, it's so tight. You're hoping for the teams to not win a couple, and if you're mid-table, teams put a couple of results together, you could be right in the mix. So it's that tight. So I wouldn't say they're exactly out of it. They're a good team with good players. I think they're a bit more open in terms of the style of play that they've been trying to play this year. I thought they were excellent when we played them at their place, excellent. So we're in for a tough afternoon, aren't we?
Well, you made your first January signing earlier this week with Lewis Leigh coming in. Obviously, you must have had him identified as your target because he'd actually been out on loan at Bromley, but you moved very quickly once you knew he was on his way back to Preston to get him here. Yeah,
we looked at him quite early on. He's a good player, can play off both feet, handles the ball well, wants to get around the pitch. Lovely personality, full of confidence, really confident young man, and he did really well at Bromley. They're doing well in the league. He did really well there. We've watched a number of games between us and the recruitment team. We're really pleased to have get that done. And Lewis, when he found out of the interest, couldn't wait to get here and get started.
So, as you mentioned, having that type of character that he is, it looks as though he's settled in fairly easily, has he?
Yeah, it won't take him much settling in. He knows one or two of the players just from playing against when they're younger. He's obviously a younger player, we're a youngish group, so it doesn't take him long to settle in. But the character of the people we bring in is really important because we've got a brilliant dressing room, and we need to maintain that.
How's the rest of the window looking? What's your progress from the early part of the week towards the end of the week?
Yeah, I said we were looking to do stuff early. We did with Lewis. We're still talking to teams, to players. I'm talking to players. You just have to wait for that information back. Sometimes the club, particularly if they're coming from higher up, just want to wait to see if they can manoeuvre him in a different way. So you put your presentation forward and your offer, and you see what happens. But a lot of it is waiting for the feedback from the team, because we're looking at players from Premier Leagues, for example. So you're waiting to hear back, but we got plenty of irons in the fire in terms of being able to move when we're allowed to.
What about your own players inside your four walls already? I know that the decision come out about a mutual agreement with Regan Griffiths. You got Billy Sass-Davies out, Dave Richards out, and of course there was early talk even before the transfer window opened about Conor O'Riordan. So where are you with that? Yeah,
Regan, a difficult one for me on a personal note, just because I signed him when he was under 10. He hasn't given us one day's problem. He just wants to be successful. He wants to play football, and we feel we've come up with a situation now which will help him put things a bit more in his court to be able to kickstart his career. We wish him all the best, and I've told him anything we can do to help him, we will do that. Billy's having a successful loan, isn't he? We'll see where that goes towards the back end of the month, if he's going to stay there, or we're getting a little bit of interest for him in from other clubs. So Boreham Wood will have a decision to make on that front. Dave's enjoying life in Scotland. He really is. I spoke to him not so long ago, and again, he's on a season-long loan, so he's free to stay there. If there's something to be done in terms of him looking after his longer-term future, we'll look to accommodate that and help him the best we can. Conor, there's obvious interest in Conor. There's no beating around about that. There is interest. I believe the clubs have spoken, and we'll see where that takes us. But I'm not getting involved with what's going on with that in terms of the finances or anything with that. I believe their club got to come up with an offer that matches our expectations.
One thing he has proved, what a pure professional everybody knew he was, because while this is going on, he could have easily distracted him away from playing first team football, but he's just getting on with the job like you'd expect he would.
He's a brilliant person, absolute brilliant person. He just wants to do well. He loves the club, he does. We've spoken, and I didn't really expect anything different from Conor. Get about your work the best you can, train like he does, and keep on performing the way he does. But he's been excellent. We've had a couple of chats, nothing major. Just seeing how he is in general. He just cracks on, just gives you the nod, and yeah, I'm all right, and moves on to the next game.
It's just on Joe White, anything developed with that? You said you were going to try and speak to Newcastle. We had a lot of talk earlier on in the week, Sunday, going into Monday, Tuesday. We think we've hit somewhere where we feel confident enough that Joe will come back to us on loan, but rightly so. Newcastle, he's doing so well for us. Newcastle have obviously got their injury concerns. Eddie Howe wants to have a look at him, which is brilliant for him. I told him he should be proud that he's playing that well. He's got himself in a position where his club want to have a real look at him and see where he's up to. So he'll go back after Saturday's game, and he's been brilliant for us up to yet. Let's hope that can continue. If Newcastle are able to bring in about 5 midfield players. Well, you're bringing us right up to date, and your supporters of where you are with the window, which I'm sure they'll appreciate. Where are you with your injury situation? Charlie Finney is ahead of schedule in terms of having his operation. There was good news. He's been to see the specialist. I think next week he's going to be able to do light running, which is way ahead of schedule. So 4 weeks his load will be up to somewhere near. Zach Williams is feeling really good. He's got to see a specialist though, to just put a real time scale on when it's going to be, but fingers crossed it's not as long as we think it's going to be. He's confident, he feels good, he wants to be back out there. Charlie Colquette will return to the group today for training, so again that's another positive that we've got Charlie back again. We'll be mindful of Charlie, making sure he gets the right load so we can get him on the pitch as often as possible. And just the two lads who came off during the game against Montreal, they came, that's Chris Long again. Everybody keeps to worry when they see him go down, and Joe White. No, I thought
Longy looked right at it against Mansfield, and with what he's missed, I think it just probably caught up with him. He just stiffened up a little bit, but he looks like he's going to be fine. CT obviously missed a bit of football, so we've got to be mindful of him. And Joe had just given everything, and coming off the back of an illness, again he just felt like his calves were tightening up, but absolutely fine.
Is it a slow process with Joel tapping? You've got to be careful there.
Sorry, yeah, with Joel, we had the scan back, and there's good signs of healing with the issue he's had. What's actually happened is he's had a previous hairline fracture in that ankle, and then that's been picked up. He's played through that at some point. That's been picked up on the scan, and it's just started to come away again. But there's good signs on that. We're hopeful the first couple of weeks of February we'll be able to get him on the pitch.